Oh, just gotta unmute him there, Josh. We get to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. You hear him now?
We got him.
My bad.
I was like, there's something wrong with my headphones, and yeah, we're good. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started here with our FedEx Cup standings leader, Collin Morikawa, here in the interview room at the Northern Trust. Collin, your first start since Memphis, and ready to kickstart these playoffs. Finishing sixth last year. Being in the mix there at the Tour Championship, and now you're starting this run as the standings leader. Just you comment just quickly on your game and how you're feeling as we start the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yeah, obviously it's great to start out number one and going into the playoffs. Means I was doing something right throughout the regular season. We had some couple wins, couple top tens, and overall it feels good. The game feels good, and I think the way I looked into the playoffs last year, I was so focused, especially after that PGA win. Let's go win, and I think I was almost burnt out by the time I got to that third week, knowing that I would be there. Not everyone has the luxury of knowing, where they're going to stand come the Tour Championship, but I at least know I'm going to be there. I'm going to have a chance with 4 rounds, no matter where I stand. So I think it's just thinking about, how do I rest up? How do I feel great about myself and body-wise by the time I do get there? Because, we do throw in a few 3-week stretches, and it's a long 3 weeks. And when you have the playoffs, this is everything. This is everything wraps up together. This is the finals for us. And I think I'm going to kind of look at this a little differently throughout these next couple weeks leading up to the Tour Championship, and just see if I can plot my way to really peak in that third week rather than, burn myself out in the first few.
Just a reminder for media on the line, if you have a question, just type your name in the chat for Collin. Before we dive into those questions, Collin, you just finished your Pro-Am here at Liberty National, 18 holes, and I guess just kind of what's your initial take on the golf course and how you think it suits your game?
It's good to see a playoff course that I've seen before, obviously 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was a lot more tired than I was this week, having taken last week off. It's very nice. I think last time I had Juan Barracuda, played at Wyndham, and it was just a busy summer. So it's nice coming back to a course that I've seen. I remember, don't really remember too many shots, and I don't think I hit too many great shots, but for the most part, the course is in great condition. It's going to play great. I think we've got winds from all directions, so that'll be interesting to see how we kind of adjust to that. And overall, I haven't played in much wind over the past month, so it'll be good to kind of adjust to that, hit some shots, and go back to really playing golf rather than hitting a stock 150-yard 9-iron or something.
Awesome, thank you. And with that, we'll go ahead and open up for questions. See, Martinez, I see you have your hand raised. Do you have a question for Collin to start us off here? No? Now we can start with Daniel Rappaport, Golf Digest first.
Hey, Collin, now that you're officially on the Ryder Cup team, I'm wondering, have you spoken to Captain Steve Stricker at all since then about pairings, or I don't know if he's factoring your guys' opinions into what you might take with his captain's picks? Have you spoken with the captain since you clinched your spot?
I texted, I actually called him a little bit. It was one of the best calls I can get, knowing that I was going to be on the team. So I'm very happy to talk about it and everything. But no, I've thought about potential pairings, who I'd kind of mesh well, blend well with. I think I'm pretty open to playing with a lot of guys, and we're going to have a dinner at the Tour Championship with the 6 guys that qualify for it. So it'll be good, I think, in a person-to-person setting, really lay it out there, see what other players think, see what captains think, and it'll be interesting. I'm very excited to see how it plays out, because this is my first Ryder Cup, and I've seen what the teams have been, but I've never been in the process of thinking about, okay, what player might make it, who's going to play well here at Whistling Straits, who's going to play well with other players. So I want to put my best foot forward and putting my knowledge, but a lot of these guys have played Ryder Cups before. They have that experience, and sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't, and I think it's just finding a good formula. So Stricker's obviously an amazing person, an amazing captain he's going to be, so it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of see how that goes over the next few weeks.
And then this doesn't apply to you because you're already on the team, but for the guys, the 6 captains picked, there's obviously a lot of debate about who should be taken. There's been some talk about stroke play versus match play. Do you feel like there's a type of player who excels in match play? Is that a real thing?
Absolutely. I think there are players that just excel, and man, I wish I could pinpoint exactly what that is, but some people just have that in them that, when you throw it out there, 18 holes or 18 separate matches, mini matches, they're able to turn something on. And I think you see that in the WTC's match plays throughout the years. You see guys that are the most consistent players. And yeah, I think that has to go into sometimes who you're going to pick and who you're going to throw out there, because the Ryder Cup's one of the biggest stages. It's one of the biggest team events that we could play for. It's one of the biggest honors we're going to have representing the U.S. And you have to be ready for those moments. Really, I think guys that are going to be scared, and I'm not saying any of the guys will, but some guys are willing to step up a little more, whether they're a veteran or whether they're a rookie. It doesn't matter, right? Some guys are willing to take that next step and really just embrace it. And I think that's what the team needs is guys embracing what the Ryder Cup is, rather than going out there and just hitting for fun.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, Daniel. Next, we'll go back to Mark Cannizzaro, New York Post. Go ahead, Mark.
Just kidding.
Maybe not. Mark, you there? Hang tight, Colin. Hold on. I'm trying to communicate with him over here.
Hey, Michael, he put his question in the chat if you want to read it for Mark.
Okay. Sorry, it's not showing up for me, Sean.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mark said he wanted to ask Collin what he thought of Matthew Wolff's decision to step away from the game earlier this year.
Oh, I mean, it's a very honorable decision. I mean, this is, I was reading into what Matt said yesterday in his press conference, and not just him, but other athletes around the world in every sport. It's a big thing, and it shouldn't. It's crazy. How do I put this rightly? It shouldn't be where we are in this world today. I don't think it should be that big of a topic, because it should already be something that we've been talking about for ages, and it's something we haven't talked about, which is why it's so important now, because this should become a normal thing for people to feel physically injured, mentally injured, whatever it may be. If they don't feel right, they should have the right to not be out there. They should decide for themselves whether they want to put themselves out there, and when they do feel right, then put them, go out and play their respective event. But it was a very honorable thing, and I'm so glad a lot of people are talking about it, because we really don't know what people are going through. And I've touched upon this earlier on in the years, that you don't know what your friend might be going through. You don't know what someone, your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whoever it may be, what they might be going through. We can't guess what people are doing, and that's the hardest part. So I think it's a great topic. I think it's something that needs to be pushed, and I hope it becomes a normal thing. When I look back in 10 years, that yes, people are going to be doing this, because it is absolutely fine. It's acceptable to do. It's something that we as humans are going to live with. And hopefully, I think Matt is getting better. It was great to see him at the U.S. Open. I talked to him for a little bit. Seemed like a completely different person. Seemed very happy about it. And that's how I know Matt. Matt's a very happy kid. He's a kid. So it's good to see him back on track. I talked to him yesterday at lunch. He seemed very, very good about himself. But that doesn't mean, we're not going to all hit blimps in our roads, and we're not going to, stumble across things that we can't expect. It's going to happen to a lot of us. And I think by Matt, especially at such a young age, to realize that, people like Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, to step up for younger people, I think it's very important. Hopefully that came off right.
Sounded good to me. Sean Martin, PGAtour.com.
It was a good answer. On a technical side, we talked so much about your iron play, and I was wondering if you could maybe provide some insight into why you think you excel at that part of the game. How much is maybe innate talent, where it always was something that maybe came easy to you at that part of the game? What mechanically about your swing maybe helps you be a good iron player, and then just what about your mental approach helps you in that area?
Just throwing out all the secrets here, huh?
I figured it was all of them.
Yeah, look, I think growing up, the way I practiced was I was practicing on the golf course, right? So I'd always hit different shots. I'd never just throw it on a mat. I mean, I remember, so I grew up at Chevy Chase Country Club. It was a 10-hole course, and I remember they have a net cage, and you could warm up and guys would hit balls, and that's pretty much the only place you could warm up to hit balls. And I would kind of stand off the side and create a ball above my feet, even though it really wasn't, it was half an inch above the ground, or I'd have 1 foot off. And I remember a parent came up to me and he's like, "Why are you doing that? Like, you're not really practicing anything good." And it actually sticks out to me now because, look, we're never going to get a flat lie. You're always going to have to adjust. You're always going to have to do something different. So I think that's why, me practicing on the golf course, throwing a few balls out, it's been that creative side of hitting different shots. What in my swing does well, to be honest, obviously I have a little bowed wrist, not as bowed as some people's. Club's still fairly square, and then I just hold that, kind of turn, rotate, clear out the hips, and I'm able to hit that little baby cut that, what I've been known for the past few years. And mentally, I think I know what my body does. I know what my shots do, and I just kind of stick to that. I've created more shots. I've learned different shots throughout the bag, but even through college, this is what I've been doing, and I didn't want to change anything just because guys are hitting it higher, or guys are hitting it farther. I've stuck to what I've been doing, and I think I truly believe that what I've learned throughout college was good enough out here, and obviously it's shown some times here and there that it's solid enough.
That was very insightful. Thanks for giving away all the secrets.
Thanks, Sean. Next, we'll go to Doug Ferguson, Associated Press.
Hey, Collin, when you look back on your 2 years and 3 months as a professional golfer, people talk about ups and downs you had during your careers. What do you consider to be your struggles that you've had to overcome? I can't think of any, which is why I asked. I'm curious what you think of some of the tough times.
Yeah, I'd say after that PGA win last summer, didn't really play golf, or didn't. I played golf, didn't play great golf, and I wouldn't call it a struggle. I think for me, it's more of a learning experience, and how do I take that, and that might have lasted all throughout the fall, and hopefully because of that, I've learned, and maybe it won't last a week even, right? Maybe I'm able to learn from that. So I wouldn't look at it as a struggle, but I love to look at them as learning experiences, because even during those weeks that I wasn't playing great, or I might have expected to play better, my standards were higher just because I had won a PGA. I look back at that now, and I don't look at it as I struggled. I look at it as I had a different mental process. I was looking at golf a little differently, and that I shouldn't have, and I need to go back to what I was doing great and what I was doing well to play great golf. So I'm sure there's going to be struggles out there. There's going to be tough times, but for me, it's, since I hope to have a long career and I hope to play this game for a long time, is that I want to look back and realize, okay, yeah, it might have been tough, a few events here, few months here and there, but how do I learn from that and make sure I don't make that mistake in the future?
That makes me curious. When you finally had a break at the end of 20, which I guess would have been maybe 3 weeks in December, did you find yourself bummed at the way you had finished the year, or did you still allow yourself to think about Harding Park, think about Muirfield, things like that?
I rarely go back and think back about like, oh man, like I won a major in a month ago, or I won this tournament whenever. I don't really do that. And, I wouldn't say bummed, but I was curious on why I had done, or I had played like that throughout the fall. So I sat down with my coach and we kind of reassessed and figured out, okay, what are we doing differently? And there's such small, minute things that no one would ever pick up on, but it's something that, if I sit down with my coach for an hour and really talk through things, talk through the process I've been going for showing up at events, what I'm doing on the golf course, we find discrepancies of what I did that fall versus what I might have done the week before the PGA and the week of the PGA, right? So these are things that we bring up now to make sure I don't do them, and I didn't do them after the Open win, and thankfully I had that experience, I learned from it, and we move on. But there's going to be things that creep up into your head that aren't good, and that's just golf.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. We'll go back to Daniel Rappaport, Golf Digest.
Kind kind of an off the beaten path question here, but with the PJ Tour schedule coming up for next year, there's no event in Chicago and no event here in New York. I know that you're the guy who likes to get out there and explore. Is it kind of a bummer to not have those two big cities? Do you enjoy coming to the big cities on tour?
Yeah, I love it. I'm a city guy at heart, and I think it. Obviously, I have no sway into going where the tournaments will be, but I'm gonna miss it. You know, every time we've been in Chicago, every time we've been in New York, my girlfriend and I, we've always gone into the city. We've had some great dinners. We've toured around, and we're by no means we're locals, but we've enjoyed enough of the city where we can go find some hole in the walls or some better spots that the tourists don't necessarily go, but the locals know. And yeah, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it for sure, and hopefully they make their way back. But I'm glad at least LA is still on the market there.
Awesome. All right, Colin, that's all the questions we have. Thanks again for the time, and best of luck this week.
Thanks, everyone.